Hi, everybody. Good Wednesday afternoon. It is Region Weather Meteorologist Matt Wentz. Want to bring you a face-to-face update here. We can get more information across that way in terms of what we've got going on and where we go from here in terms of where we stand in the middle of this winter storm right now. Boy, the snow produced last night. We've got snowfall totals over a foot now coming into the region weather comment section. We've got the National Weather Service reporting over 10 inches in Valpo right now. Many of us obviously dealing with that heavy snow that was heaviest during that morning rush hour and beyond. And it certainly has lived up to pretty much how we expected things to play out. So we'll talk about in this Region Weather Live where we go from here. We've got to look at some of the area roadways, conditions you can expect the rest of the afternoon, and the all-important round number 2. Does that head north? Does it head south? Where's it headed now? We've got the afternoon model guidance to help us with that. We'll take you through it all in this Wednesday afternoon edition of Region Weather Live. And welcome in, everybody. A lot of you probably homebound today, hopefully. You didn't have to go to work. School's obviously not in session for most of you. And it's just one of those afternoons I hope you've been able to hunker down with a nice cup of coffee and maybe a little Netflix and some region weather. How about that? What a perfect day in my world, right? Want to say hi to everyone that's saying hi. Hi, Chris. Hi, Erica. Hi, everyone that initially got on. Boy, you guys are fast. Jackie, Rhonda, hello. And hello to you. Amy, thank you for watching from DeMont this morning. Inconsequential on YouTube needs more snow. So I appreciate that. All right, it's Region Weather Meteorologist Matt Wentz. Let's take a look at what we've got going on here. Obviously, an impressive snowfall so far. It's become a little bit lighter as we anticipated, and that trend will continue as we go throughout the afternoon as we're becoming kind of at the tail end of this system, number 1. And if we split it into 2 storm systems, it's easier to think that way. We've got round number 2 heading our way. That still looks to at least clip the area. Not much has changed in terms of the modeling in that. Here's the radar right now across northwest Indiana. You can see we've got some pretty decent snow falling, areas of the darker blue. So we've got a nice wave now moving through the Plymouth area out towards South Bend. A little break for us here from Maryville over towards Valpo, but there's another little batch coming in here from the west, and that will bring some light to moderate snow back into the region here over the next hour or so. Beyond that, the snow extends all the way back down into Missouri. But again, we've got kind of a break in the systems. The 2 systems were together at first. This one's kind of breaking apart. That second one is digging a little bit further south. All of this is anticipated. No surprises here. But again, that's the reason why we're going to kind of break up the snow as we go throughout the afternoon, and especially this evening. And then we'll deal with round 2 as we get in the daytime tomorrow. The one thing that we've seen, there is some lake enhancement. You can't really see it a whole lot, but there's some snow holding right in here that's not moving a whole lot. And again, that's some of our lake enhanced snow that's targeted more towards Chicago. We didn't see much of it in the Whiting area. I thought maybe it could get down into the Whiting Hammond area, but it seems to be that's been further off towards the west with that northwest or northeast wind that we have across the area. All right, I'm going to switch sources. We're going to go over towards some of the traffic cams, and we're going to talk about the modeling here in just a second, and then we'll talk forecasts from there. All right, so let's take a look at some of the region weather cams that we have courtesy NDOT. Here's our webpage, regionweather.com or northwestindianaweather.com. Traffic cams, just a great resource here. I've got them all broken up down by the county. You can see 8094 near Hammond. Obviously, we've had a lot of these snow cams, if you've been checking this morning, that have been just simply covered in snow. So it doesn't really help you when it's just a solid wall of snow, but that's certainly what we've been seeing throughout the morning. And you can see we're down to pavement in spots with that kind of relaxing of the snow in the area. Some of the side roads, obviously, we've got lots of snow to deal with, but it does look like 8094 is certainly manageable at this hour. Let's go a little bit further to the east out towards 8094 near Chesterton. And you can see a slow go there. Look at the traffic, all the trucks out there, as really just a slow go anywhere that you are. Most dangerous part's probably the ramps, right? They're the last to get plowed, and the main thoroughfares look to be at least manageable right now. So that's some good news. Let's look at one more cam. I want to go down to the south area now. Again, this is all on regionweather.com. You could scroll down here. We've got our southernmost cams here. We've got a Rensselaer cam on I-65, this one near Lowell, and you can see how we have improving conditions. That's not bad. That's a great looking I-65 there down in areas of southern Lake County. So much better conditions in terms of travel down there. So not looking too bad as you get a little bit further away from the lake. So where do we go from here? Well, let's take a look at the modeling. Again, this is where we are right now, where we've got round one. You can see it here kind of pulling on out of the area. So our snow is going to relax over the next couple hours. It'll still be on the light to moderate side at times. I mentioned that wave that's pushing in now, but it does look like as we get towards the evening hours, we do start to say goodbye to some of that more organized snow. But it should fill in pretty quickly. So this is 2 o'clock in the morning. You notice it's picking up on that Lake Enhanced band over towards Chicago. And we get a little break here around midnight, right, where we might not have any snow for maybe an hour or two. But then it does look to fill back in. This right here is wave number 2. This whole entire system is attached, but if we treat it like 2 different storm systems like we've been doing the last couple of days, I think that's more helpful in terms of, how this plays out. So we'll call it storm number 2. That's got an actual stronger area of low pressure with it. It continues to track further south and east. So, yesterday we were looking at the modeling that kind of shifted some of it south, and it continues to kind of hold that line. So what that means from us, the heaviest snow is going to miss us tomorrow. All right, it'll be downstate, right in that sweet spot that we mentioned, right where that ice or those reds, magenta colors change over to the dark blue. But I still think we get clipped by some light to moderate snow, and it should be fairly long lasting. So this is the daytime tomorrow. Look at that line. Actually has no snow, says this model, in Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties. Meanwhile, our southern tier counties, Newton, Jasper, Stark, are all seeing light snow throughout the day. So there is going to be a fine cutoff line with that. I think it'll kind of fluctuate back and forth, but we are going to deal with more snowflakes tomorrow, especially the further south you are. If you have travel plans down to Indy tomorrow, that's where the bulk of the problems are going to be with this storm system, and out east towards Ohio. This is now getting into Friday morning. This is Thursday night. You can see most of the storm system now pulling on out of here. By Friday, it's like a long gone mystery, right? It's finally out of here. Another little clipper system comes in this weekend, but we are going to be bone chilling cold behind this. So how much more snow from here? Well, I don't think a whole lot. Again, we've seen a lot of the snow. We were calling for anywhere from 10 to 18. I said I could up that to 12 to 18. We're already in that category for many of us. Most of the snow totals coming in from Northwest Indiana range from 8 to 12 inches so far. And I would be happy if you guys have taken official measurements or anything close to that. Feel free to go ahead and put them in our chat. That would be great. But in terms of the snowfall, again, this was the big round that hit this morning. And again, it's going to taper off this afternoon, maybe another inch or two as we go, maybe another 1 to 3 as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. And then round 2, you can see there's not a lot more as we get into tonight. Here comes round 2. Look at that snaking up from the south. And that puts down some big totals down towards Indianapolis, in addition to what's already fallen a little bit further down to the south. But for us, there's not a ton to write home about in terms of snowfall with the second wave, as it does look to miss the most of us. I think we could add on maybe another 2 to 4 inches, and that would be at best for Newton, Jasper, and Stark counties with this. But the bulk of the snow will be down to the south. So what you're looking at here is snow yet to fall. All right, this doesn't incorporate anything that's already fallen. Okay, so that's that. And again, that's the HRRR model. I think they've got a pretty good handle on it. I do want to show you the NAM Nest because that does come a little bit further north with some of the snow. But this model has some of the snow that's still coming in. So it's a little bit inflated in terms of some of these numbers. But, it's saying a little bit further north with that line. And we'll take a look at it here. There's round 1, heads on out. And then round 2 tomorrow, you can see it just clips our southern tier counties. Meanwhile, that Lake Enhanced, Lake Effect snow is going to be going good back towards Chicago. I don't think we'll see much of that before that clipper comes in. So that's where we stand right now. So we'd be happy to answer your questions so far. And we're already getting some measurements in here. I got a lot of 11s coming in. Erica says 11 in Valpo. Michelle, 11. Where are you, Michelle? Always helps to put your town on there. That way we know. Angie says 11 in Rensselaer right now. Tammy measured about 12 in Crown Point. Rhonda says 8.5 to 9 at South Haven. That was this morning, so you've probably added to that. 9 in Cherville. Thank you, Faith. Pam checking in a foot 0.3 in Winfield. Jeff says 9.5 in Cherville. And 12 says Pappy in the Hammond area. So those are some good numbers, guys. Appreciate that. Eric asked a question. She says, my son is at IU in Bloomington. How's tomorrow? Look for him. Tomorrow, they're going to get hit pretty hard by that second wave. So we can actually look at it here. That second round is going to hit them more so than us. You can see how that heads right through areas downstate and out towards east, towards Bloomington. And that kind of stays before that moves on out. So they'll probably get a decent amount tomorrow. Probably on the order of 5 to 10, maybe 4 to 8, 5 to 10 additional to what they have after that, for sure. Let's see. How about the wind? Rick asking about the wind. Jeff asking about our next storm after this. Always on to the next one. I am too, Jeff. So, Rick, the wind continues to be gusty. It's not going to increase or decrease over the next couple hours. The storm's pretty steadfast in terms of the consistency of it from here on out. We can look at the wind. In terms of the forecasting for this is your wind gust. So right now we're dealing with that 20 to 30 mile per hour wind at best, right? It's gusty out there. It's not incredibly strong though. And then you see as we go throughout the evening, it turns more northerly. That continues to usher in that cold air. So any slush that we have on the bottom of all the snow is going to turn to a rock tonight. So that's why I'm anticipating problems tomorrow as well, even despite the fact we're not going to have a lot of snow falling from the sky. So the wind continues around 20 to 30 miles per hour, and that holds all day tomorrow. You see that little push of stronger wind down towards our south. That's that second area of low pressure, a little bit stronger atmospherically, right? That moves on up, but our winds stay consistent throughout this entire event on the order of 10 to 20 with gusts 20, 30 as we go through time. And then things will relax and will really chill down Friday and especially on into Friday night. That's when we're expecting some really cold numbers. Let's talk numbers real quick because this is why I'm concerned that everything kind of churns to a hard rock. You can see as we're in the 20s today, we'll fall back into the teens tonight. There you go. That's tonight. Tomorrow we don't warm much. And then tomorrow night's really the cold spot where we get down into the single digits. I would imagine a lot of these numbers are a little high as well. With a heavy snowpack, it serves like an igloo cooler or likely cool us below zero in a lot of spots. And that would be waking up not just Friday morning, but Saturday morning looks really cold as well. So that's where we go from here in terms of all that stuff. Let me go back to this and we'll keep that running so you can see kind of the evolution of the storm system as we go from here. Jeff was asking what's the next storm after Thursday. Jeff, we've got a weak clipper that's going to slide through this weekend, might kick off a little bit of lake effect snow, bring some flurries to the area, maybe some snow showers. I don't think that's going to be a big storm system. And to be completely honest with you, I have been so bogged down and busy with this storm system with radio interviews and stuff on our side of things because we're getting a lot of snow tonight and tomorrow. So we're doing wall-to-wall coverage here that I have not even had a chance to look at the 10-day forecasts. That's how active our days have been around here between trying to get some sleep. So beyond that, last I knew it was kind of quiet to start next week, but I'm going to have to take a good look at that after tomorrow. But nothing in the immediate future for sure. Kristen, that's great news. I mean, great news to share with everyone, not great news that they had to pull their plows, but Newton, Jasper, Porter counties, Kristen saying that they pulled their plows. And I would not be surprised with that. At one point, 8094 was shut down for a bit. I'm not sure if it still is. Again, that's the newsy side of things. I try to stick more weather, but if you guys have any news things that are really important, I'd be happy to share with each other. Rachel asked a great question. Is Valpo going to get any more snow within the next couple hours? Yeah, Rachel, there's another little band developing out towards the west. So we're going to have another little pattern of some light to moderate snow move through, probably in about an hour or so. And it's going to be kind of patchy. We're not done with the snow this afternoon. I think another 1 to 3, maybe 2 to 4 on top of what we have through evening, but it's really going to start to taper off this evening as we get in kind of that break. And then tomorrow, we're not expecting a whole lot more as that system really looks to miss us just down to the south. Newton and Jasper counties are going to get a little bit more tomorrow. Joanna, not much more tomorrow in Portage. Further south, Newton, Jasper, Stark counties will likely get some accumulations with that. Sharon, I appreciate that. Matt is always accurate with his forecast. Sharon, that's not true. I've been inaccurate at times too, right? My job is, obviously to be accurate, but to keep it real for you guys because you're so inundated with media hype and things that you don't know if you should believe or not. It drives me nuts. And so my job is to keep it real for you and to be as accurate and try to get it right as much as I can. And I can't say I always do get it right, but I feel like we nailed this storm pretty well. Melissa asks, is Dyer getting more snow tonight and tomorrow? Dyer is in the same boat as our northern tier counties, right? Lake County, where I think we're going to get a little bit more snow throughout the evening hours, perhaps 1 to 3, 2 to 4 on top of this. It's becoming fluffier, right? It's not quite as heavy now as our temperatures sink. But it does look like tonight the snow will back off, and then tomorrow we'll watch that second wave come in. We'll likely still have some snowflakes flying tomorrow with that, but the bulk of the snow stays south tomorrow. So not a whole lot more tomorrow as it looks right now. Laura, same for you. I think snow throughout the evening. I mean, you're pretty close to Dyer geographically speaking. So same thing for you. Snow tonight will be on and off, not nearly as heavy as this morning. It'll back off tonight, and then tomorrow we'll be dealing with a little bit more. John, same for you as well. You're a little bit further south, so tomorrow's interesting in terms of that second wave comes up. You may have some general snow tomorrow that holds. Crown Point's right on that borderline. It might be snowing just south of you all day and might not be snowing in Crown Point, but I do think we'll get some of that. Diana asked about lake effect snow. That's a great question, Diane. It does look like the lake effect snow is going to hold off towards the west much of the day tomorrow, where they could get some pretty decent totals out towards Chicago. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. If that shifts a little bit, we could bring some lake snow into northwest Indiana. I do think as everything kind of turns around late Thursday, so late tomorrow, that we will bring some lake snow into northwest Indiana as it's kind of fizzling out. And again, that would fizzle out on Friday morning, but it doesn't look to be anything major for sure. Georgia, thanks for the update. Easily 12 inches in Lakes of the Four Seasons already. Yeah, that's comparable. Most everyone around you is reporting 11 to 12 inches. So that's, the damage has been done. That was the bulk of our storm system. It should be a little bit quieter from here. But again, temperatures are going to plummet over the next couple hours, and they'll continue to plummet all the way through Friday. So that slush, when everything first kind of melted when it hit the ground, it's water. There's liquid under there. Trust me, that's going to freeze and everything's going to turn crunchy, and it's going to be frozen in place over the next day and a half. So that's where we start to have some problems around here for sure. Jeff, I don't think the snow will reach Will County. It's going to be really close again, and we're talking tomorrow snow. I do think it's going to be south of you. I don't see much of a northward shift with this. Remember yesterday, someone said Mike Kaplan said this thing shifted northward, and I didn't see it, and I still don't see it. So unless he's got a different model or he's changed his forecast, I don't see that northward shift. I don't think this snow makes it up into you. What's interesting, though, is Chicago got hit pretty hard from this first round, though. They're reporting anywhere from 8 to 10 inches in Chicago as well, including the western suburbs. But again, we continue to be the bullseye for this first round, and we have the highest totals by far throughout the system. So there you go. Diane, you're welcome. Absolutely. So a couple good questions here. Let's see. I leave for work. Jason says, I leave for work at 3:30 in the morning tomorrow. What does the commute look like? It depends on where you're, actually doesn't depend on where you're leaving from, Jason. It's going to be a rough commute. There's not going to be a whole lot of additional snow tonight. But again, the snow is going to harden up and it's going to become a glaze of ice, and it's going to be it's just going to be compacted and hardened. So there are likely still going to be problems tomorrow morning, especially if we add some light snow showers on top of this tomorrow. So it doesn't look great. It looks better than right now, though. I'll tell you that. But again, just be careful. I too have to, I'm leaving at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I have to do the morning show again tomorrow. I get the privilege of doing the morning show tomorrow. But I get you. And sometimes those early morning hours are kind of the worst to travel because the road crews, take a little break. Not saying INDOT's going to do that, but they tend to kind of forget about those 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clockers, and they really focus on the 5, 6, 7 o'clockers. Rightfully so. They can't do it all, right? Pamela, thank you for that. Road conditions are bad off of Broadway. Yeah, the main thoroughfares are manageable. You get off of those and they're problematic right now, right? But we certainly had our hit this morning. Boy, things went downhill in a hurry, didn't they? Flora asking how much more for Chesterton. Again, I think a couple inches more for you. It's pretty much the same for everyone in Northwest Indiana. So think about your town. A lot of people ask about their town. I get that. But it's going to be the same pretty much for everyone, where we might get a couple more inches of snow this evening. There's a little bit more snow working in. It's going to be more on and off the rest of the evening. Tonight, things should back off. And then tomorrow, that second wave comes in, but it just misses us to the south. If you're in Newton and Jasper counties, you'll likely get some more light snow tomorrow with a couple additional inches. But Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties not seeing a whole lot in terms of snowfall tomorrow. Becky enlightens us that another e-learning day tomorrow for Hammond schools. Can we just give kids a snow day? I mean, really, where's the magic anymore, right? Seriously. I know for teachers, though, I've got some friends that are teachers, and I get it. The breaks are awful, right? Especially if they're choppy, for sure. Ashley says, I think it's more of wind that's making it worse than anything else. Yeah, the wind is going to continue, Ashley. And the fact that our snow was heavy and wet this morning, it's now becoming fluffier, right? As the temperature goes down, that snow gets fluffier. That's the bottom line, right? It's got less moisture to it, so it blows around easier. So that is going to be an issue as we carry through the day tomorrow, because any snow we get from here on out is going to be fluffier by the hour for sure. So it's going to be very interesting for sure. Mike's down in Indianapolis, in Montgomery County. Forecast now calls for 18 inches plus. What do you think? Mike, I would agree with that. I think that second wave is going to be pretty potent for you tomorrow. You're going to have a pretty consistent amount of snow. So it's going to be snowing from the morning all the way through the evening, right? So that's a long time that you're going to have snowfall rates that are going to be approaching an inch an hour at times, maybe an inch and a half an hour. So that adds up. The longevity of this has always been the message. That it's not just the snow that we just got. We've got that second round coming in, and Indianapolis is going to be square in the middle of that. We just have to change everything over to snow first, right? That colder air continues to get down into you for sure. So, John, this is the Futurecast radar loop. I showed that earlier in the broadcast. You can go back and watch that if you'd like. So this system, you can see down to the south. I'll turn the snow totals on here. Again, some of the bigger totals are going to be down towards Indianapolis. And I'm going to go towards another model because this one factors in some of the snow that's already fallen, whereas this is snow that is yet to fall. Let me see. That's an outdated model. Here we go. This is the latest now. So this is snow yet to fall. And this only goes through tomorrow around lunchtime. So you see how we're picking up another 6 to 8 inches down south of us, with just a couple inches here. I would agree with that. And look what's happening in Cook County. That's that lake effect snow we're talking about. They could have a little bullseye of 4 to 5 additional inches there. Again, I think that misses us. So not a whole lot more for us. Newton and Jasper County going to be the questions that we have to answer tomorrow in terms of the track of that. Mike, you're welcome for sure. All right, guys. I think, Becca says snow days are the best. Forget e-learning. Right. That's awesome. So Victor, Victor, in terms of channels, so most people know this for region weather, but I used to forecast for Lakeshore Public Television. I was the chief meteorologist there for 7 years in Maryville. I created this page when they took TV away because Northwest Indiana needs weather, right? And Chicago doesn't cover us like they should. So region weather exists for Northwest Indiana. I, however, moved to Georgia after that at NBC, and now I'm at NBC in Cleveland. So I do the morning show, I do 5 o'clock show here, and I have a Sunday morning show as well. So they keep me very busy here. But again, I run region weather page from Cleveland, even though I have friends and family, and I'm originally, my first weather job was actually in Northwest Indiana. So that's my tie to the region. And boy, a lot of these folks that are on here have been with us since the beginning. I'm telling you, this is how many years are we on now? Quite a few years. And a lot of you are like family, and that's why we do this. So there you go. Amy, you're absolutely welcome. DK, absolutely welcome. Arlene, thank you for that as well. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. So from here on out, again, there's not a whole lot in terms of more heavy impacts heading our way. We've got the cleanup to get through now. And again, that light snow is not going to help over the next 24 hours or so, especially if we get some of that banding tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't look to be too crazy. The big problem, I think, from here on out is temperatures go way down. Everything kind of freeze and lock into place. So that's going to be kind of messy tomorrow as well. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to let you go. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Please be safe out there. Again, let NDOT and the road crews do their thing, and we'll clean up from this, and we'll move on with some cold air behind them.